Welcome back to part 3 of my first Pokemon Nuzlocke experience. After a run-in with our rival, it was time to make our way to Dewford. In Dewford, we defeated Brawly, and then after another run-in with our rival, we finally made our way to Mauville City. Yeah! After finally making our way to Mauville City, we realized there were a couple things that we could now do. We could, first, maybe go gambling, or I also learned that there was this really cool thing that we could do if we go back down to Slateport and we go to Pacifilog Town. Okay, so we got the Harbor Mail. How about we go ahead and go to Pacifilog? In Pacifilog Town, I heard that there was a bug catching competition, but instead of bugs, it was water Pokemon, and it was an underwater competition. Alright, what are we thinking? Oh, they have the Whalmer blocking it, so we can't go somewhere else. So this is like, alright. But first in the grass, we had to get our encounter. A Mankey! We found a Mankey and named it Monkey. After that, I knew it was time to take on this Scuba just Safari Zone easy peasy bug catching competition. Oh, we can only move 200 tiles. After realizing that we could only go 200 tiles, I had decided that maybe we'll break the Nuzlocke rules, mainly because we were only going to do this competition one time. A Whalmer's lit. A Whalmer is lit. Do the kids still say lit? And after all that, I'm still on my same nonsense. I didn't nickname him, I hit the other button. Oh, dude. It's okay. We can't use him until he's nicknamed then. That'll be our rule. Oh, I lost. Unfortunately, we did lose the competition. But we got a feather. And? Oh, shit. I think it's Waterfall. We also unlocked Waterfall extremely early. A very powerful physical water move. Just thought about something. Mankey is going to come in clutch for the 5th gym against Dad. He's a normal type gym leader, so we should be able to use Monkey. After having an ADHD moment and blurting out that I'm more set up for the 5th gym than I am for the 3rd and the 4th, it was time to go back to Mauville City and turn in our Harbor Mail to get the coin case. So now, let's go gambling! Over at the game corner, it was time to turn in some money to get some coins so we could actively gamble in a 10-year-old's game. We had to check the prizes real quick. It did seem as though there were some good options for TM. Ice Beam! Unfortunately, when we got over to the Pokemon, we realized no Pokemon, just dolls. That stinks. I was really hoping there would be a usual Pokemon selection, like a rare Pokemon or two, or maybe even a pseudo-legendary, but unfortunately, that was not the case in this game. Quickly, though, we realized that the slot machines had been replaced in this game with pinball machines, which was a little different from what I'm used to in Pokemon games. So I wasn't very good, but I did it anyway. And now it was time to fight Wally so I could gain entrance to the 3rd gym. After mocking Wally for a little bit, we realized we only have one Pokemon and it's not evolved? Bro, I'm gonna feel so bad. So we stomped Wally. Well, that was anticlimactic, that's for sure. Oh, absolutely ridiculous. Alright, see ya. With Wally defeated, it was time to enter the gym, and after I took down all of the trainers, it was time to take on Wattson, the 3rd gym leader in my Nuzlocke challenge. Alright, boys. With a ton of confidence, it was time. Let's do it. Alright, Wattson. I always thought he's really cool. He looks like a fun grandpa. At this point, I did find some sort of documentation that was a little more correct than what I was dealing with at first, so I was able to lead a little better than I had been for these gym challenges. So we sent out a Volbeat, I used Luca, Fire versus Bug, you know how it goes. So easy peasy on the first one, but then he brings in a Flaffy, so I quickly switched to Muffin, and it's time to fight the Flaffy. After doing a ton of mental calculations and deciding what move would be the most optimal, I decided to go with Headbutt. I figured I might be able to get the flinch and, well, I was afraid of getting paralyzed, but it happened anyway. I was afraid of static, but I ended up getting Thunder Waved. So paralysis isn't ideal, but we took down the Flaffy anyway, so he brings in his ace, Manectric, and we switch to Burrito. Burrito's moveset is ideal. It has Poison Powder, so we can poison the Pokemon, and we also have Venoshock, which does double damage if a Pokemon is poisoned. So, that's exactly what the strat was. We figured this would be easy enough. We do get paralyzed, unfortunately, so that stalls one round, but you saw crazy damage from the Venoshock, so we figured this is all we were going to do. We should be able to knock him out, and with the poison's help, Manectric was down. And the last Pokemon that he has that we have to deal with is a silly old Magneton, which Noodle should have absolutely no issue taking out. We do a couple mud shots. Oh wait, just one, knocked out. And that is the end of Wattson. The third gym, easily taken care of. Wait, was Manectric 24? At this point, I took the gym out so quickly that I didn't even realize that one of the Pokemon were at the level cap
take a
level.
Geodude, that'd be really cool.
Now, after having the ability to Rock Smash outside of battle, it was time to get our next encounter, and I really wanted a Geodude.
Come on, man, anything. Let's go, let's go! Man, I just said that, it's so funny. Okay, I'll take a Geodude, that's fine.
I wanted a Geodude, don't let me confuse you. We named him Rocky, and it was time to push forward to the next route.
Okay, we got our encounter.
Next encounter on Route 112, and we just got so lucky to get
a Numble. I don't like Numble. I don't like Camerupt.
So then, let's keep moving.
Another encounter. Let's hope for anything sick, and not a Numble.
You can tell just exactly how excited I was because of the cool nickname that I gave this Slugma.
Okay.
Anyways, it was time for the next encounter.
Here we go. Bonsly. Woohoo! Another trash encounter.
So we named him Wiggles, and it was time to keep it pushing. Honestly, at this point in the story, everything's a little boring, so it's really all about the encounters.
Spinda.
Dukes! Okay, don't be a Spinda, don't be Spinda.
Shit.
Unfortunately, it was a Spinda,
Trash.
but that's okay. We didn't really need too many more encounters at this point in the game because I feel like we were pretty well set up for the next few gyms. So let's hit our next encounter.
Oh, what's up, Carl? Seviper. Nice.
I like Seviper. I named him Snick, and it was time to save the professor at Meteor Falls and progress this story so we can keep going.
Meteor Falls.
As soon as we got to Meteor Falls, you knew we were ready to get our next encounter.
Third or fourth.
But who would it be?
Yes, he did not hatch yet.
I need a Reno. I need a Reno. If we could just find a Moonstone now,
I wonder if I can get a Moonstone.
we might be able to get a Nidoking. So we named him King, so now it's time to save the professor because at this point I feel like I'm just mashing A trying to get through this damn game. So I'm ready to save the professor so we can progress this story. After saving the professor, our egg was finally ready to hatch.
This is the moment of truth. Are we gonna get more trash like we've gotten for the last basically 6 encounters? Or are we gonna get gold? Here we go. I got Grimer.
I got Grimer. Literal trash sludge.
Well, I know his name at least. Stinky.
Now it's time to make our way up the mountain and get ready to take on Maxie, leader of Team Magma. Unfortunately, first we have to take on a couple battles, one double battle which was extremely easy, and then we had one battle that was pretty easy again, so at this point I was extremely ready to take on Maxie so I can flex my Pokemon trainer muscles and get ready for the 4th gym and take on Flannery. But before I could even take out Maxie...
Wait. They changed the evolution level? Baked beans useful? I'm pumped. I'm pumped.
our baked bean evolved into Pillow-Swine, which means it was only a matter of time before he learned ancient power and we got a Mamoswine. So let's take out Tabitha real quick so we can quickly make our way to Maxie.
Dude, stop talking and just pull the Pokemon out. Let's do it.
Little did I know, however, that Maxie would be a complete pushover.
Maxie's down. I'd like to say that we're halfway through the game, but we're not.
I was starting to feel a bit of fatigue at this point, but it was time for our fiery path encounter. A Machop that we named Goku. I did have a concern that we wouldn't be able to find a linking cable, but he was going to go in the box right now anyway. So after navigating through Flannery's gym, which was completely covered by fog, and it took me, I don't know, almost an hour to get through the gym, I finally got to Flannery.
And we'll keep going. I mean, honestly, I would like to get to the next gym tonight, if possible. That might take a while, but we're going to do it.
Luckily, as a kid, I had to fight Flannery a lot because I failed a lot. So, being able to do this as an adult made this very easy. Also, very luckily, I had a Gyarados that knew Waterfall a little too early in the game. So, we were running through Pokemon, the Slugma and the Flareon went down easy, and the cheese of the Torkoal knowing Attract was not going to work this time, as my Gyarados Fish was a female as well. So, unfortunately, I will say the Torkoal did set up Sunny Day, so that did half my power. But we still made it through, Torkoal down. It was time to teach Muffin a new move. We got rid of Bite, learned Power Up Punch, and it was time to take on the last Pokemon of Flannery's. A goddamn Camerupt. Luckily, Fish was 4 times effective, so 1 Waterfall, and Flannery was taken down. And with the Heat Badge in hand, Flannery's taken down. It is time to keep it moving, and now it's finally time to take on our dad's gym. But before we do that, we do have a handful of encounters that we can get before we get there, so let's take care of that quickly first, and then we will make our way to defeat our dad and make him look silly. Our first encounter that we got was a Gligar. We named him Batman because he's awesome. I did get the Claw Fossil, but did decide not to restore it.
Then I will be right back, and then I'm going to destroy the 5th gym, aka my dad, deadbeat, loser.
And while I'm taking a break on stream, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. This really helps the YouTube algorithm, and I'm really trying to get to 100 subscribers. Thanks.
Cool, let's hit it. This should be pretty easy. Well, not that it should be easy, it should be quick. Does it matter which way I go? I can't remember.
After what felt like battling 1.5 million people to finally get to my dad, I finally got to my dad, and it was time to teach him a lesson. This is for leaving Mom and I. It's not fair what you did, and I am here to give you the smackdown. So, we start off with a Karate Chop. We do get Teeter Dance, so I'm afraid we're going to hit ourselves in confusion, but we didn't, because Monkey is the king. So, right into the Slay King, and I gotta be honest, we were a little nervous, so we quickly did all of the calculations in our head, and we had to mull through every decision that we possibly could make. We even checked the abilities, and, well, we decided that I think Cross Chop might not be enough for this, so we contemplated using our Z move, All Out Pummeling, but what we forgot is that we were confused, so we used the Karate Chop instead for right now, and then we went for the Cross Chop. And see, we hit ourselves in confusion. If that would have been the Z move, we would have been hurt bad. So we finally went with All Out Pummeling, and we absolutely dominated the Slay King, except it survived by 1 HP. But we finally came out of confusion, and we hit it with a Karate Chop and finished it. We then learned Bulldoze on our Piloswine, and it was time to keep it moving against Dad. Norman then decided to go into a Politoed, so I went into Raichu and figured we should probably just Shockwave this thing, since, you know, Raichu didn't actually learn any good moves. I figured it wouldn't be strong enough, so we went for Nasty Plot. It was enough, We knocked him out. It was time for the Vigoroth, so we went into Muffin. We really wanted to get the Intimidate off. I was terrified of the normal gem, but...
And my father has been defeated. 5th gym down. That's 3 gyms today?
We were absolutely crushing it at this point. We were on a roll. We couldn't be stopped. So I figured, let's keep it moving.
So now we can surf. Which means that unlocks a couple encounters.
Not just a couple encounters, a lot of encounters. So after this, I decided I might as well go next door and talk to Wally's dad so I can get surf so I can actively go and get these encounters. However, honestly, I was completely clueless up to this point.
What's HM3? Oh, that was surf. Oh, I just got the ability to use surf outside of battle. But he actually gave me surf.
Honestly, I was gaming for over 7 hours at this point, and my brain was pretty fried, so I felt it pretty easy to just go get some encounters, maybe even check out the abandoned ship, see if there were any encounters on the boat, and lo and behold, there were absolutely no encounters on the boat, so we turned our asses around and hit the water again. So honestly, at this point, we took out 3 gyms, so we got a couple encounters, a pretty cool Doduo, and an awesome Execute, and we finally made it to the Weather Institute, and that's where we decided to end today. Thank you all for watching my 3rd installment of this series of my very first Pokemon Nuzlocke experience. We have about 2 episodes left in this series, and then we're going to start changing things up. So stay tuned for that, and do me a favor, please hit that like and subscribe button. YouTube is going to suggest another video for you right here. And again, thanks for watching.